Hey, comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to do that all important comic book review so you, the fans, can make a decision on what comic books to buy. And today, fans, I'm going to review a book that I probably wasn't going to plan on a review, but I got a recommendation from Kat Comic Uno, who's my good friend over in Comic Frontline, and she recommended to all of us in a group to go ahead and read this book. And now, after reading this book, I'm going to recommend it to all of you to go out and read this book because I thought the issue was that well done. This is written by, this is done by Black Mask. They're the ones that published this book, and it's called We Can Never Go Home. So that's the name of the title here. And the art is done by Josh Hood, and it's written by Matthew Rosenberg. So yeah, when we go and we scroll through this book, you know, the artwork is pretty solid in here. There's nothing super special in the book, but the artwork is pretty good. Here we get to see the facial expressions that, you know, obviously that shows anger. The colors are there. So I thought the artwork was pretty good. We get to see some power-up situations in there. There's some crazy paneling in here when it comes to discussions. So I thought the artwork was good. It was solid. Again, there was not a lot of action sequences in this book, but it's well done. You know, when needed. Here's a pretty good panel of one of the main characters. Her name is Madison. Her eyes light up when she gets powerful. So yeah. So the artwork was pretty good here. So what was the story about? What made it so good? Well, basically what happens in this issue is we get to meet this boy right here, and we get to see him, the guy in the red hoodie, and his name is Duncan. And what happens is he witnesses something while he's practicing shooting his gun. He's doing target practice, and what happens is he comes across this pickup truck, and we have this boyfriend and this girlfriend, you know, trying to hook up. And what happens is we wind up seeing Duncan kind of peeping in on them, you know, doing it. And what happens is the boyfriend winds up getting really mad, and then, you know, Madison's is kind of like, well, let's get out of here. And this boyfriend winds up tossing her to the side. And whenever Madison gets anxious or angry, she winds up powering up, and she winds up getting powerful. And that's what happens to her. And she kind of takes her boyfriend and just like throws the boyfriend out the window of the truck. And he just kind of like drives away and calls her freak and whatnot. So now this is how Duncan and Madison, they wind up meeting and getting close to each other here. And what happens is she starts, you know, telling the secret that, okay, hey, I have this power. You can't tell anybody at school, or they're gonna experiment on me. They're gonna, you know, there's gonna be major problems here. And what was really cool about this issue is that Duncan gets all excited, and there were some good and humorous parts here where he's talking to Madison, and he's just like, what happens to you? He's like, can you pick up a car? Can you fly? Does your skin turn colors? And she's like, no, no, no. And he's just being this annoying kid, you know what I'm saying? And she's like, oh my God, get over it. So there were some humorous parts there, but she made it a thing that, you know what, you can't tell anybody. So what happens is we wind up going back to the school, and we get to see that the boy Duncan is being picked on. They get in a big fight. Madison comes to the rescue, and you know, he kind of walks her home and whatnot. And Duncan tells this weird secret to Madison, and he sits there and he says, I have a secret too. And Madison's like, what is it? And he goes, I can kill people with my mind. And she's like, well, how do you know that you have this power? And he goes, I killed my mom. And it's kind of left like that in the particular issue, which was quite interesting here. And so as the issue progresses, you get to see the relationship get stronger. He winds up giving her a mixtape. he makes a tape for her, and she's like, I don't have a tape player. So you see that in the issue that she gives the mixtape, and then he leaves a package at her door, and it winds up becoming that it's this old Walkman, and she starts listening to the music, to the mixtape that he made for her. So you find that there's relationship is developing between the two, like almost like a boyfriend girlfriend type of relationship. And Madison doesn't care what her friends think, if he's the town weirdo or not. She kind of respects him. So as she goes over to his house, she witnesses that his father is starting to beat him here. It looks like he has an abusive father. And the next thing you wind up seeing is she gets all pissed off and anxious, and she starts breaking in the door. And the next thing you wind up seeing is that this big fight battles out between the two, and she just punches the father out and kills him. And then so what happens in the end of the issue is that he's just like, we can't stay here. You know, Duncan's like, we can't stay here. We got to go. We have to leave. He's like, if we leave, he's like, if we stay, they're going to experiment on us. That's why we can't tell anybody about our secret. We have to go. And she's like, okay. And that's what ends the issue. So based off of what happened here, I was totally shocked to see Madison kill the father. My thing is about this particular issue is, why didn't Duncan kill the father? If he has this abusive father that's beating him and he can kill somebody with his mind, why didn't he kill him? And I'm sitting there going, I think it's all a ploy. I think he's leading her on. I don't think he has a power. I think he's just doing it to get attention, to be relatable with her so he can have a relationship with her. And now he's getting her. I think this was all a plan and a whole entire setup. I think this was a plan to get him and her together so they can leave town together and be together. That's kind of what I'm getting at here. I could be completely wrong, but that's how I feel about it. But overall, I really liked this issue. I thought it was a very well done issue. When a first issue kind of makes you speculate like this, I feel it's a very well written book, and I thought it was awesome. And I can't wait to read issue 2 because I want to find out what happens with these two. Is he playing her for a fool? Does he really have a superpower? I don't think so, because how do you demonstrate this power without killing somebody? And if you really did and you hated your father that much, why didn't you kill him? Because when she knocked him out and killed him, he was like, thank you. You know, so it's kind of weird stuff there. But this is a good book, guys. I think you should check this out. Read the whole thing. There's a lot of dialogue here to appreciate the story. Thought the artwork was okay. It was solid artwork, average, nothing special here. There was no superpowers, no real action. But I thought overall the story was well done. And I'm going to give this one probably a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Definitely under radar book that definitely should be discussed this week. Hopefully you guys give this one a check out and purchase it at the store. And guys, leave me your comments on what you think of this book. And fans, as always, thank you for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. And fans, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off, and I'll see you in the next review. Take care, fans.